Channel 3.
I'm sure it comes as no surprise that in the arts community, the people here in Cleveland and Bradley County are all very good friends. So it was a real joy for us when we spoke with Connie Gatlin to know that her good friend June Chase was right around the corner to have a conversation with us as well. June takes on a whole nother focus when it comes to discussing the arts in schools, and that's the visual arts. So good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you.
So my best friend from childhood is an artist. Her whole family is full of artists, and I have to tell you, it intimidates me because I'm more of the performer. There is such layering in the visual arts.
Absolutely.
June. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. You're so right.
You, too, are going to incorporate the education component here of this program because you were instrumental in the Cleveland City Schools. You helped to bring arts education to the elementary school students here in
Yes,
town.
I did. Yes, along with Dr. Jackie Adams-Wattenbarger, we developed the elementary art program in Cleveland City Schools, and we're very proud of that. As far as I know, we're the only school in the southeast region that has an elementary art program. And even though we're not fully implemented, we have 7 elementary schools in the Cleveland City School system, and we have 3 art teachers, and they see their students every other week, which is a far cry from when I first started with this. And I was teaching at Cleveland High School. My principal, Doug Green, allowed me to be free for half a day. And I started visiting, at that time, 6 of our elementary schools, and I would see 1,000 children in one rotation.
Wow.
I'd see them once every 6 weeks. Then when Dr. Denning came in, Dr. Yates was the first one to kind of agree with the program. But when Dr. Denning came in, he got all the arts people together, and he said, now what do you need? And they all said, we need more elementary art teachers. So he hired 2 more, and that's when, at that time, again, we only had the 6 schools. The teachers could go to 2 schools. But still with the 3, they're able to, get around to all 7 schools and just have, contact with the students about every 2 weeks. So it's wonderful.
So allow me to pick your brain then, if you don't mind. Because in terms of young children and the arts, is it a good idea or a bad idea if a child brings you a picture that they have drawn and you don't quite know what it is? Is it better to say, oh, that's so beautiful, tell me about it, or what is it?
Oh, the what is it is absolutely a no. Tell me about it. Yeah, and you could always find something in the picture to compliment on. I love the way you use that color. A purple giraffe is just absolutely wonderful, so yeah.
We were having a conversation before the cameras began to roll, and I was sharing with you my personal view that unlike being able to be in the school band or in a school production, those talents people get at different levels.
Right.
Everyone's born with their own perspective.
That's exactly
And that's
right.
what the visual arts allows you to bring out. So it's really important that these kids have access to arts and education.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, we just sort of hold to the idea, and I think I mentioned this to you too, that we believe in educating the whole child. Mm-hmm. And a child that's not educated in the arts is not fully educated.
And you don't do crafts. You said this is not crafting.
Our program is definitely not a craft program. And that was one thing we had a little bit of a problem with in the beginning, because so many of the people that maybe board members, maybe in the community, they grew up with making doilies at Valentine's or pinecone turkeys Thanksgiving, and we had to let them know that our program was what we became known as a discipline-based art education program. The discipline of production, of course, but art history, aesthetics, and criticism. And it would just thrill us to death when our parents would come back and say they had taken their child to a museum and they were able to identify these pictures, they were paintings or sculptures or whatever, and they were able to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And so we have a very high quality art education program in our
So, we're also on the cusp of a new year. A lot of us are making New Year's resolutions
right.
at this time. If you're a parent or a grandparent watching and you have a child, I guess of any age, even if they're a teenager, what are some ways you could begin to teach that art? Is it just through going to some museums and experiencing it? Is it a good idea to begin trying just to take some quiet time to yourself and doodle? Is doodling a good thing?
Doodling's a wonderful thing. And what I ran into, pardon me, during the course of my career was that so many children would say, I love this, but I can't do it at home because my parents say I make too big a mess. But if you have an artistic child, you need to let them make a mess. You need to provide all the art materials that they desire, give them a place, create a place, put a plastic on the floor or something so they have that opportunity to create. And then take them to museums, take them to performing arts venues, expose them to have some wonderful books at home, and if there are classes in the area from the museum or wherever, by all means expose them to those things.
So let me get you excited about this then, because y'all also are doing everything in your power to bring the arts to the kids. So you've got something called the Arts in Business and Education, and isn't that what it's designed to do?
Yes.
To bring people in?
Yes, absolutely. We have an event it has been every April, called Cherish Jubilee. We ask area artists to decorate chairs, or it initially started out, that's where the idea of Cherish Jubilee came from, to decorate chairs. Now we've grown into, we have all kinds of big pieces of furniture. We have a few paintings, but we really concentrate more on the hand-painted pieces. And what we do with the money raised from that is we provide arts programs to all of the schools that are members of the Chamber, not just Cleveland City, but Bradley County and some of the private schools in the area. And we give teachers opportunities to write grants for their own individual classrooms. We started out giving $500 grants to each teacher. Now our grants have, because of the success of the program, they can write up to $1,000 grants for their own individual classroom.
I've got to wrap it up before I do. An artist friend of mine told me once that to be an artist, a visual artist, you first are an observer.
Absolutely, absolutely, you are. And I think that is so true, and I think that's one of the cases with some of my children. They're observers of art, but they're very talented in that area.
Well, I thank you so much for sharing some time with us.
Well,
you can be watching for Cherish Jubilee to come hopefully this April. And in the meantime, you can always find out more if you want to visit the Museum Center at 5 Points. They've got a great connection to the arts here in town. Thank you, June, for the
conversation. Well, thank you so much.